What's up, besties? It's your girl Morgan here, and you're listening to your internet best friend. What is up, besties? Okay, I'm just hopping right into it today because joining me is a highly requested guest. He's tall, he's beautiful. Every single time I post a photo with him on my Instagram, y'all message me asking why we are not dating. So I said, you know what? I got to bring him on the podcast because I'm going to have him answer that. It mainly involves the fact that we both like men, but he's here with me on the podcast. We're going to do some hot takes. So joining me is the one, the only, my best friend, Tej. Tej, welcome.
Hey everyone. Hi Morgan. Good to see you.
I feel, well, also, let me just say his name is not Tej. It is actually Thomas Wolfe, aka TJ, aka It's Me the Tej on Instagram, which is what I feel like most people who follow me know you as. So I'm happy to
I'm kind of
see
like
ya.
a puppy, you know? Like I'm kind of like a puppy. I respond to really anything that anyone calls me anymore because I just have such a name identity crisis. There's this nickname, there's that nickname, so whatever.
We're all over the place. TJ, I have not seen you. When was the last time I saw you?
I
The wedding?
Gosh, was it Gabrielle's wedding? Probably, right?
It was Gabrielle's wedding. You were my lovely
Yeah.
date. Oh my gosh.
We had so much fun. We had so much fun at that wedding. That was a good time.
I feel like I drank so much wine, but like, what's new? That's just a common theme in my life.
Do you remember? I don't know if we talked about this, but you know how you and Gabrielle met on like a random, was it in Hawaii that you guys randomly met?
Yes.
So after that wedding, which was actually the first time that I had met her and Tamor, I ran into them in a hotel that I was staying at in Hawaii out of sheer coincidence. I'm sitting there having breakfast and I look over and I see them and I'm thinking, how do the two of you keep running into all of us coincidentally in Hawaii? Makes no sense.
It's fate. Hawaii brings people together. Well, TJ, I brought you on this podcast because everyone has been requesting you. Don't let that go to your head. I got to humble you a bit, but the general public wants you on the podcast. So TJ and I, for those listening who are unfamiliar with TJ, very good friends. I used to post on my story when I lived in LA, when TJ and I would be together, I would have him rank my outfits, thinking that, as a friend, it would be like very complimentary. Is that a word?
Sure. We'll go with it.
Complimentary.
Complimentary.
Oh my God. Producer Courtney's like behind being like, yes, that is a word. Okay. Yeah. So I always thought that you would make nice comments, and it ended up being, I actually watched a few of them. It was like, oh, it looked like a unicorn sneezed on you. I don't remember
Critical mistake.
Critical
mistake. I'm honest to a fault, and I live by the phrase, like, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to, you know?
I mean, look, I support it, even when it comes at the cost of my confidence, TJ, but
To be fair, your outfits are usually always incredible. You have a great fashion sense. And so sometimes, like, you're trying to humble me, I'm going to humble you a little bit and just throw a quick zinger at you, you know?
You know what? I appreciate it. But people freaking love those. I get requests all the time. They're like, you got to bring TJ to Nashville. Like, someone actually, when I teased you coming on the podcast, they had the idea. And they're like, you should let TJ into your closet in Nashville and just have him rank all the outrageous outfits that you have. So, TJ, there's your open invite to join me whenever you want.
So I actually had one that might one up that one.
Closet.
I had a person DM me and say that I should go to your place and choose your outfits of the week for you, and you have no choice but to wear what I choose for you every day that week. Kind of like they called it the David Beckham effect. Apparently there's like a thing in the Beckham documentary that talks about how he picks out his outfits for the week or something. And they want me to do that for you. And then you have to wear what I pick for you.
Honestly, I'm down for that. I feel like you're going to put me in something outrageous just for like shits and gigs, but that's
maybe one day.
That's less work for me. I'm like, yeah, come over and pick out my outfits. I don't want to do that.
I can add stylist to my resume. Look at that.
One day. Well, I had this idea as you give hot takes on my outfits. So I was like, I'm going to bring TJ on the podcast and we're going to do a segment that is new. And who knows, maybe it'll be a recurring segment. It's called TJ's Hot Takes. And we are going to give some hot takes.
All right. I'm here for it. I'm not prepared for any of these, but let's see what happens.
I know. I thought about sending you a list before this podcast being like, all right, here's some of the general topics. Think about what you want to say. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to surprise him. I want to hear your first impression on all these different opinions.
Okay. I'm here for it.
So do not hold back the TJ's hot takes. So I want to start with a banger. Because as you know, we talked about this before we hit record. Taylor Swift came out with her version of 1989. It also was announced that she's a billionaire now. She is a billionaire.
Okay. First of all, timing is perfect, right? Today, for those listening, we're recording on the day that 1989 Taylor's version has been released. Incredible masterpiece. Incredible masterpiece. I will say I'm still going through the In the Vault songs. And so far, I'm really loving what I hear. Slut. Fantastic song.
See, I'm going to listen to that because I don't picture Taylor Swift. I don't associate her with a song called Slut. So I'm like,
I think it's her getting her power back a little bit, right? It's like that thing where it's like, listen, it's kind of like her song The Man on the Lover album. It's like kind of her way of addressing this, what's going on and how everyone's obsessed with her dating life, i.e. this whole Travis thing and anything else that she's dealt with. So I think it's just kind of her way of fighting back. But the song itself is also incredibly well done. She should have added it to the first album, hot take. But huge fan.
I'll have to listen to it. Well, here is the hot take, and I have a feeling we are not going to agree with this, but I will say I put a question box on Instagram, and out of all the responses, the top hot takes involve Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Most people's hot take involving T Swift is that she is not really that talented. TJ, what do you think?
Totally disagree. I mean, here's the thing. Here's what I will tell you. This is the example I give whenever this conversation comes up, and I get into this conversation a lot. She has self-admitted on a documentary, I can't remember which one, but she has said herself that there's nothing overly remarkable about her singing ability, right? If you asked a room of 10 people... that's what I was going to bring up too, yeah. Yeah, like if you asked a room of 10 people, who do you wish you could sing like? No one would probably say Taylor Swift. It's not about her vocals being anything remarkable like a Whitney Houston or any of these other like, remarkable people and icons. It's her ability to storytell and write and her marketing ability that has what set her to be the top like selling artist of all time. Her songs are the most relatable, her ability to write her music and then not only write it, but transcend album after album after album. For her to plant these Easter eggs and think years ahead so that you have to reverse engineer. It's a journey that she takes you on, not only just for an album, but for years. No other artist in the world is doing this. And so I fundamentally disagree that she's overrated. She is the top of the music industry.
I would even go so far, and tell me if you agree with this, to say that she is the most famous person on earth, right?
Oh, yeah. I would agree with that statement.
There's not anyone in any country, I feel like, that does not know her name.
No, right? I bet you could probably go to like sub-Saharan Africa and talk to tribes who don't even have television or anything else. And they probably still know who she is.
They know Taylor Swift. So, yeah, no, I agree with that. I do not think she is overrated. I do not think she is not talented. I do agree she's not the best vocalist. Like, can she hit high notes Hands like down. Whitney Houston? No, not at all. But you know what? The fact that she writes all of her own songs and like is able to tell such a story and do what she does and then think so far ahead that she's like, I'm going to make millions on a tour. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it into a movie and I'm going to make even more millions. I'm like, genius. Well,
the thing that's more genius about it, like the background, I've done some research on it, is she went around a lot of the studios, like historically, whenever things come out, you have to go through the middlemen in the studios to get something that's put out into AMC. And she's like, you know what, screw that. I'm just going to go direct, like cut out the middleman. Let's go right to the AMC, I guess, leaders or business leaders and say, this is what we're doing. And then they did it. It's the first time it's ever been done. So not only is she like doing something that's new, she's doing it in ways that are just breaking ground for other people. I'm curious to see how that actually helps, with what's going on with this writer strike and everything else, because if people can just go straight to the source and cut out the studios, we might see a whole entire new wave, all thanks to Taylor Swift.
All I have to say is if her marketing team is listening to this podcast, which they aren't, they sure aren't, but I hope they hire you, TJ, and they're like, damn, this man can sell some Taylor Swift. So
I'm just a fan.
A new job from this.
I'm in her 0.001% of listeners on Spotify every year, and I'm very proud of that.
TJ, do you remember your 2022 Spotify Wrapped like top song, like number one song?
I do.
What was it?
It was The Last Great American Dynasty, which is on Taylor Swift's Folklore album.
Okay, a classic song, something not to be embarrassed about. Do you know what my top song of 2022 was? Do you want to know?
Yeah, I do.
I don't think you want to know.
Is it All Too Well? Is it a Taylor song?
No, it's not even Taylor Swift. It's so incredibly embarrassing, but I stand behind this. It is Ultimate by Lindsay Lohan from the Freaky Friday soundtrack. Tell me why I was on it. I was on a date with a man, like kind of like cool DJ guy who like knows all these off the wall bands that no one has ever heard of, super alternative. So he's naming all these things I don't know, and he's like pulling open his Spotify Wrapped, and I'm over here like, okay. He's like, pull open yours. Like, have you looked at it? And I hadn't. And I'm thinking like, okay, it's got to be Taylor Swift. Maybe
Wait, I'm sorry. He asked you to pull up your Spotify Wrapped in the middle of a date.
Yeah, is that weird?
Kinda.
It was like a casual date. Like, we were at a bar.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't going to marry this dude. Like, this was just like a one-offer. Okay? Like, whatever.
I can appreciate wanting to get to know somebody. And, like, music's a great way to get to know them. But for me to be sitting down at a dinner table and be like, pop out your phone, let me see your Spotify Wrapped, kind of weird.
We were sitting at a bar, and I knew I was probably never going to see this man again. So I was like, you know what? I will open my Spotify Wrapped. Thinking, I'm like, okay, Morgan Wallen, maybe a country song, maybe Hillary Duff. Okay, that'd be kind of embarrassing, but I can justify that. I open it and I immediately turn bright red because the number one song by like a landslide, Ultimate by Lindsay Lohan. He looked at me and he was like, what? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. It's fine. But
so I've seen that movie. I don't think I could name or like sing that song. I don't think I even know what it is.
TJ, yes, you can. Hang on. I won't have to go far in my... It's the second song. It's the second song in my Spotify, what I've searched.
I do know the song, but you know what? I'm more curious. Why is this the top played song? Like, are you just like jamming out to this in the bathroom? What's up?
Yeah, I am. I guess anytime I have a bad day, I for some reason put on this song and I'm like, I feel better. And I really, really don't know why, but that's a thing.
Shout out Lindsay.
That's my hot take, is that Ultimate by Lindsay Lohan from Freaky Friday is the number one song in the United States right now.
All right.
But
wow. That's wow.
That's a statement right there. Moving on in our TJ's hot takes. Ooh, we're going to disagree on this one. I have a feeling. In-N-Out is not good and it tastes like cardboard.
I kind of agree, but I kind of don't. And let me explain. I actually think their burgers are fantastic. I love their burgers. They're not overdone. They're very simple. I think they taste great. I feel like their French fries, which are like natural and, you know, with potatoes.
Trash.
And all, like, well, they're all with
potatoes.
I think they're trash. I'm not a huge fan either. I think if you have to go animal style on a fry to make it good, it's probably not that good.
I feel like with In-N-Out, you have to do animal style on everything. So essentially you're just eating the sauce. And I'm like, yeah, I do agree. It is overrated. You know, it's not overrated. Whataburger. Team Whataburger.
Never had it. Never had Whataburger.
What?
There's so many things I've actually never had. I've never had Whataburger. I was talking to a friend about this the other day. Interestingly enough, I've never had Arby's.
Ew,
which
who
I was
likes
then
Arby's?
I was also told that Arby's, the name, I don't know if this is true, but they said that the name of Arby's was created as an acronym, like RB's, roast beef. Arby's.
Mm-hmm. Arby's.
That was new to me. Mind blown a little bit. There's a lot of places. I'm not a big fast food guy. I'm known to like order that like, you know, late night McDonald's order because I'm drunk, but I'm not a huge fast food guy.
I think you would have to pay me money to eat a roast beef sandwich from Arby's. That just does not sound appealing to me. Like no. It's a no for me. Ooh, okay. TJ, how tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
Okay, so you're a tall man. So I'm curious about this hot take.
All right.
Dating a shorter person is not okay. First of all, that is a very aggressive. Whoever wrote this in, that is an aggressive hot take. Okay.
I agree. That's a very strong statement. Is not okay. Yikes.
Not okay. Period.
Listen, this is a topic that comes up often. I'm tall, so people always want to know like, what's it like, especially when you're dating men. For me, height doesn't matter to a degree. So what I mean by that is, if you're under, like being 6'5", if you're under 5'10", 5'9", it gets a little challenging. Because it almost kind of feels like I'm dating my little brother, if that makes sense.
Okay,
I don't even have a brother, but I feel like if I did have one, that's what it would feel like. But there are plenty of men that I've met that are like 5'10", 5'11", who they have this like presence about them, and their stature just like really makes them feel like they suck up the energy in the room in a good way. The confidence level is extreme, and so it's like, you know what? I don't even see your height because I just see the person that you are. And I see the personality that you have and the confidence that you carry, and that's sexy. So it's not a deal breaker. And if it was a deal breaker, I probably wouldn't have zero dating life because there's not many people as tall as me. But
right, you're not going to find a 6'10" guy to date. Maybe.
It's very rare, right? And listen, if I was 5'10" naturally, then I'd say like 5'6", like wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a big deal to me just because of my height, but
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I'm not someone like I have girlfriends who will not even look at a guy unless he's above 6 foot. And I think that's dumb. I think that's actually so dumb. I think you're missing out on some really great guys. I think we are now in the short king era where short guys are actually becoming more desirable because I feel like if you're a guy over 6 foot, you're just a dick. Like,
well, generally speaking too, they're in better shape. Like usually if you're shorter, you're in better shape, arguably, because it's a lot, easier for bodies to like, build muscle and stuff. So when a man's like 5'10", he's usually really jacked and built, or at least like it's sex, like the muscular, I don't even know what I'm saying, but like the he looks good.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm team short king. And also I feel like the taller guys, to my point as to why I think they're a dick. Sorry if you're a guy listening, you're like, why did she just insult me? I think they know that they're taller and they know that they're a little bit more desirable because girls want a much taller guy. So I feel like it gives them like an unnecessary.
Do you really think that's a thing though? Because
arrogance.
I don't know. Do you think that's really a thing, honestly? Because I just don't feel like if we are like, I feel like everyone riddles with their insecurities. So I'm not so sure people are like, I'm 6'2", I'm desirable.
Maybe it's just the guys that I've met that are very tall that I'm like, But as we know, I am a magnet for red flags. So maybe, you know what? It might be a me problem. It might be a me problem.
How tall are you, Morgan?
5'6".
How short would you go?
Ooh. Okay, here's my thing. I could not date someone who is my height because I wear heels way too much. So me in a pair of heels, I'm like 5'10". So I would say I don't mind being the same height as a guy in heels. Like we could both be 5'10", but I could not do any shorter than that. I have to be able to wear heels. I don't want to tower over you, but I don't mind being like eye to eye. I care more about what you said, like if they're muscular. Okay, would you rather have, here's a good would you rather, TJ. Would you rather have like a 5'8", 5'9" guy who's very muscular, jacked, he's probably not picking you up, but like for me, he's picking me up. He can swing me around the bedroom. Cool. There's that. Or you have like a 6'5" guy who's super, skinny, scrawny, he can't hold his grocery bags. He's got to take 2 trips. But he's 6'5". What would you rather?
It's a tough question because I would naturally say the height would be drawn, but honestly, my taste is so all over the board. There are so many people that even when I see them physically the first time, I'm like, wouldn't even pay attention to. But then after a couple weeks of like being around them, I'm like, oh wait, I think I have a crush on you, right? And like that could be height related, that could be personality related, it could be a lot of things. But I don't know that I can pick a would you rather. All right, would you rather? If I had to pick, gun was to my head, I'd probably pick the shorter guy, I think.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think I would.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, you got to be able to carry all the groceries in one trip. I mean, come on.
Yeah, let's not be a sissy, okay? We are one trip, we're done.
I have a question for you that I've heard over the internet a little bit around groceries, and I just want to clear this up right now. I have a question around this. Have you ever seen your neighbors get groceries out of their car?
What? Yeah?
There's this whole thing going on the internet about like, have you ever really noticed when you were growing up in your neighborhood that you saw people getting groceries out of their car? I don't think I could ever name a single time I ever saw someone getting groceries out of their car.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about growing up, no, I can't think of it at the top of my head, but are you actually paying attention? Like, when are you seeking out being like, yeah, let me watch my neighbors pull out grocery bags?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's like the red car effect, I think they call it. Like if I tell you look for a red car, you start seeing them everywhere. I don't know, but I just think it's hilarious that we think about how we all have the story about how we all carried and put 50 bags on our arms and we were drugging them inside. But yet I've never seen anyone actually do it but myself.
Are we living in like the Matrix? Like
that's the theory. That's the theory.
Also, TJ, I have a question. Do I sound like I have a lisp right now? Like, be honest.
I don't really hear it. You mentioned this earlier. I don't hear it at all.
It's really, really traumatizing me. So I have like a sore throat and like a lot of drainage, and I woke up and I swear I could not say or pronounce my S's. So I've all day been like, Sally sells seashells by the seashore. But every time I talk to you in the back of my head, I'm like, you need to enunciate. You're not saying your S's properly. But as long as I sound okay. See, no, there's a lisp. Something's going on.
I don't hear it, but sure.
Okay.
I'll support you.
Moving on.
You sound great.
Thank you, Tej. Here we go. So Halloween is this weekend. So let's do one of these. Okay. This person says, one, Halloween is overrated. And another person said, I hate dressing up for Halloween.
I'm not a Halloween guy. I agree. Lame. I just like don't get into it. I'll go. I'm actually going to one tomorrow.
What are you
Halloween party
up
tomorrow
as?
night. I don't know. That's the problem. I have no idea because I'm not going to name drop, but it's at somebody's house that like is relevant, and I could dress as like something that's going on as a theme as them, but I feel like that's kind of tacky in their own house. But I have no idea what I'm going to wear. Anyway,
why don't you
going
be
to a Halloween
Ken?
party.
Why don't you be Ken? Like every other male in America. But like you actually look like Ken.
I mean, that's a stretch. No?
Nah, you actually don't, but like you could pull it off.
Listen, I get told I look like John Krasinski a lot, so maybe I like dress as him as The Office. I could do that.
I could see that. I actually can see that. So you don't like Halloween, and you do think it is overrated.
I do think it's overrated. I hate dressing up is like a bit extreme. Like it can be inconvenient, but it could also be kind of fun. So I don't necessarily agree with whoever said hate dressing up. I mean, come on, like it could be fun. But
see, I disagree with both of those statements. If I had to rank my top favorite holidays, Halloween would be right behind Christmas. Like I love Christmas. I like Valentine's Day, but only when I'm dating someone, which is like rare. So like that's at the bottom of the list right now. But Halloween, I ordered this costume 3 months ago. Like I love dressing up, but you know what it is? I just like being over the top. I like any excuse I kind of use that excuse on like a random Tuesday, but like I was
gonna say, why do you need a holiday for that? Like it just dress up, just own it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do, but I don't know. It's just something about I like the idea of getting to be like a character for a night. I think it's so fun, and I like when other people are forced to do it. Like, it's not that fun when I dress up on a random Tuesday and I'm the only one dressed up. I'm like, I like getting with friends and just being fun and being a character. I freaking love Halloween. Love it.
Can I sidebar and ask you a question? How come I know based on everything you just said, and I've known you for a couple of years now, how come you're like not into wigs and like trying all different types of like hairstyle looks like with wigs and stuff?
I love a wig.
You do?
I love a wig. But you know what it is, TJ? It's so hard to fit all of my hair, all this fake hair I got attached to my head under a wig. Very, very difficult. So
you know that? Do you remember when we met and you had your hair super short?
Yeah, but that was pre-extension. That was pre-extension, TJ. You knew me way back when.
I did.
Back in them natural days. Now look at us. We got 10 pounds of someone else's hair glued to my head.
And 10 pounds of someone else's weight on my body. I don't know where that came from, but
oh, I was like, what? Where are we going?
No, on my body.
I'm like, TJ, are you trying to tell me something? Speaking of John Krasinski in The Office, which by the way, I'm going to keep my opinion to myself until you say this, but hot take, The Office sucks.
I am not a fan of The Office.
Same. I think it is the worst TV show. No, I take that back. I don't like Friends, which, oh my God, people hate when I say that, but I also think The Office is just not that good.
Okay, so here's the thing. The Office is too dry humor for me. I get why some people think it's funny.
Okay.
I don't think it's funny. It's too dry for me. In fact, I actually even got into the British version as well or I wouldn't say get into it, but I was exposed to it because I've been in the UK quite a bit recently. And I did not love it there either, which apparently is like a big controversy. Which one's better?
The British version? Like
so that's that. The Office started as a British version. That was the show originated there. And then the American studios or whoever recreated it here, and it blew up here. And now there's a huge debate on which one's actually better, the original British version or the American version.
I personally don't feel the need to watch either.
I don't either, but I will completely throw this at you. Friends is one of the best TV shows ever made of all time. So I have to throw it back.
It is. You know what it is? I don't like any show with a laugh track. The second I hear it's like a fake laugh track, I'm like, nah, I got to tap out. I don't like it.
But you know what it is about that show? I think I fell in love with that show when I was in my 20s, like 22, 23, 24. I started watching it, and it really landed with me because I was living in the city with all of my single friends. We were all like figuring out our careers. We were all broke, having a good time, like, you know, making mistakes, going to the bar and crying about them together kind of thing. And that's exactly what that show is about. And it's about like how that age, that time in your life, your friends are your family, and that 20 to 30 year development period, 20s to 30s, like that was how we were living every day. So I found all of the comedy incredibly relatable. The scenarios incredibly relatable. I thought it was brilliant.
That fair. Maybe I should have started watching it earlier in life. So maybe that was my bad. I'm okay. Let's go into some fashion ones, because we all know you have opinions on what I wear. So I'm curious. This person says, I think Louis Vuitton bags are but ugly.
Which bag are we talking about? Because this classic brown one, the brown with like the lettering.
Yeah, let's go with that, because I got it sitting right in the corner of this room. So I want to hear your hot take on that.
Barf. Not interested. Oh, no, I think it's so overrated. I think there's like the white. I think they made one in white, which is really, really beautiful. And they also made one in black, like all black, which I think is also a really incredible bag. In fact, actually, I don't know if this person's ever going to listen to this, but 3 years ago, I was at JFK Airport and I saw a gentleman there who lived in New York City. We were waiting for the train and he had a beautiful luggage set, Louis Vuitton black luggage set. And I wanted to marry this man on the platform as we were standing there. Okay, I don't know his name. I'll never meet him. Missed opportunity.
Maybe he's listening to this podcast.
Hey, if you know who you are, and that's a super, super vague description, but if you know who you are, if you're a tall, handsome brunette guy with blue eyes with that kind of baggage, and 3 years ago, roughly, you were standing on a platform waiting for a train from JFK, I'm the guy you're looking for.
Call TJ.
But that bag is also beautiful. The brown classic Louis Vuitton look, not interested.
You know what it is? It's just like a little basic white girl-ish, but that is me. I am that, and I've accepted it. And you know what it is? Do I think it's pretty? Do I think it's actually cute? No, I just think it's a functional bag. It is a massive tote bag that I can shove all of my shit in, and it just is functional. It's practical. So
why would you spend $1,200, $1,500 on a practical bag when you can get a practical bag that's pretty for $30?
Okay, true. But you know why? Because I think it is a timeless piece that, yes, some people think they're overrated or tacky or not cute, but I feel like no matter what, from 1920 or whenever Louis Vuitton came to be to 2020, it's consistently the same. Like, it's just a staple piece. So that was my mindset. I don't know. Again, I am a basic girl, so it just makes sense that I have this bag. So
disagree, but we can continue.
You know what? Square-toed heels.
I know barf. Do not even finish this. Oh, gross. And if you actually already know the answer to that because of those disgusting shoes you once brought to my house. It was terrible.
TJ, why are you against square-toed heels?
Oh my God, they are so ugly. I've never seen a woman wear them, or I thought, wow, you look great. They are disgusting.
Yeah, well, I'm actually thinking about. Like women, so that's.
No, besides but I have same opinions about certain things that men wear too, so on their feet or in general. Like it's.
Well, I don't want to see a man in a square-toed shoe. That I know that for sure.
Like, okay, I feel like a woman in a high heel is the same as like a man wearing a Birkenstock. It's just gross to me. I don't know. I'm not into it. I think they're. Is it because
it doesn't? You know, like, okay, a foot should be like oval. Is it because it doesn't match like the shape of why? I think they're so.
I don't know. I don't know if it's me being conditioned. I do not know. All I can tell you is when I see it, it looks so unnatural. All I can think about is someone picking up their foot, the corner like catching on a piece of sidewalk, and then just falling on their face. I'm not into it. And I think there's a pair of, I remember a woman once years ago in New York City, again, I was in an elevator and I looked down and she was wearing green square-toed shoes. And I just thought those are the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
I hope she's also listening to this podcast.
Where were we when we saw those? It wasn't actually at my house. Now that I think about it, I think we were at Nordstrom.
Yeah, and you insulted my shoes. Anyways, I'm going to put a poll on Instagram, and I'm going to let the people decide, because this is probably the one that I'm the most passionately against your opinion on, mainly because I have so many pairs of square-toed heels that I'm going to keep wearing. So we'll let the public decide.
What is it about the square-toed shoes that's appealing? Like, I'll throw it back at you. Why do you like them so much?
You know why I like them? I feel like they look different. Like I just like my feet in squares. I think my feet look better in a square shape. Like that's just my personal opinion. Like
Okay.
yeah, ew, I don't like, but you know what it is? I think it goes back to like engagement rings or wedding rings. I don't like a circle diamond. I don't like an oval diamond. I like square. Like I like the sharp edges. So I don't know if that's my personality type. I'm just kind of sharp and edgy. I don't know. I just don't.
Interestingly enough, I also agree with that statement. I'm not a fan of round or oval diamonds, but I do prefer like those square emerald or princess cuts.
Yes,
Big fan of that.
Emerald cut. I want a big old rock, a skinny band, a nice rectangle. I'm getting way ahead of myself because you know what that would require in my life? A man, which I don't have yet. So that's fine. It's fine.
Hot take, but all right.
That is a hot take. Okay. Ooh, TJ, what do you think about this one? Men who play an instrument for you or sing for you are cringy.
Oh, well. Oh, man. Great question. Play an instrument for me? Sold.
No.
Let's go on a date. Sing for me? I guess kind of depends. That's a little cringe for me. But dancing, I'm weirdly attracted to.
What?
I know. Okay, so like I'll give you a great example, and not to bring it back to this couple because that's what everyone talks about, but like the Travis Kelce thing. I've known about Travis Kelce obviously for a long time. Great looking guy. Like let's not argue that.
Yeah,
but
so
I don't.
what?
I've never thought to myself like, oh man, Travis Kelce. Oh, he's such a dreamboat. Blah blah blah. Recently, with all the exposure he's been having, there's been videos of him nonstop of him dancing like in bars or clubs, and he
right,
just
I will say
like
he has like a swag to him that is very hot.
yes. And there's this thing about if a masculine man is standing there and he just like shows himself vulnerably to a room of people and there's like a little bit of swag to it, sold. And the same goes for an instrument.
Okay, I agree with that, but it's good if they have swag. I would say 9 times out of 10 guys don't though. So how uncomfortable is it if you're in a bar and this guy just starts like dancing in front of you? I'd be like, "Sir, go sit in a corner. Like, go home." Like, no.
He's like, he's dancing in the bar, kind of looking like one of those like car dealership things, like super all like flappy and weird.
Oh my God, no, I'm actually so uncomfortable just thinking about a man dancing for me. No, I get the biggest ick just thinking about that unless they're Travis Kelce, but most guys are not Travis Kelce.
You know what? I think it's vulnerability. Vulnerability to me is sexy. So I actually disagree with that statement. I think if you're willing to put yourself out there, and hopefully you're good if you're singing in front of me or dancing in front of me, but the vulnerability is sexy.
Yeah, okay, you're so noble and wise, and I agree with that. I'm over here. I'm gonna look. I don't care if you're vulnerable. I don't care if you're putting yourself out there. Please don't sing for me. Don't strum your guitar and look into my soul. It's like the Barbie movie, like when Ken is singing to her at the campfire. It's just like, don't do it. Just don't.
I miss our movie nights at the Grove, by the way.
I know.
Those are so
TJ,
fun.
I'm really sad. I want to go see the Taylor Swift movie. And did you know that she actually showed up in the movie theater at the Grove?
I did, and I almost bought those tickets. I didn't do them because I was out of town, but I was thinking before I knew I was out of town, let's go. The Grove is obviously the movie theater I normally go to. It's right down the street from my house. So I almost bought tickets that night without having any clue. Although I heard that it's actually like she did like a day before or something because of demand. So I probably would have gotten the tickets the next day anyway. So I think I still would have missed it.
Okay, now you can sleep at night then and rest peacefully. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Team top sheet all the way. Do some people not sleep with the top sheet?
I never sleep with a top sheet. I hate top sheets.
Why?
Oh my God. Who wrote this? I want to know who this person is because this is like something that I think about all the time. No, it's such a waste.
Wait, you just have a blanket?
Yeah, you just, it's
what
like
do you sleep with?
Like the fitted sheet, right? Is like around the mattress because, you gotta have something there. And then you just like wrap yourself under the duvet. Like, that's it.
No. Oh, see, I'm a weirdo. I need, obviously, my fitted sheet. I need a top sheet. And I like the top sheet to be tucked around the whole entire bed. Like, I don't want to be tangled up in anything. I want to be sleeping like a little mummy in my little cocoon. And then I want the comforter placed gently on top of me. But I need everything tucked in. Does that make sense? Like, I need to be in a little sleeping bag.
You also need ambient noise and your eye mask and a lot of other things that are so... Degrees.
Oh, TJ, do not even. Okay, you know what I have convinced all my friends? I've gotten them on this train. My friend actually just texted me this morning because I've convinced them after I went to Boston with my girlfriends. I played my white noise, and you know what they did, TJ? They loved it. They didn't complain about it. They didn't make fun of me. And you know what they did? They downloaded it themselves. And my friend texted me, and she was like, I played the white noise app last night, and I slept better than I've ever slept in my whole entire life. So I'm just saying.
Morgan, I have shared many hotel rooms with you, which sounds sexual, but it's not. And I can't stand how you sleep. You also sleep in so late. It's so brutal.
TJ.
Talk about a hot take.
Hot take. Okay, here's my hot take. We're on vacation in Hawaii. We're in Hawaii. Yeah. My hot take is when you're on vacation, you sleep in. And my sleeping in was maybe 8 a.m. Maybe.
That's so late. We're in Hawaii. The whole world's waiting for us. Let's go. 5 a.m. The sun is up. So am I. Let's go. You know?
The best is I would literally, TJ and I went to Hawaii, I don't remember, a couple years ago. And I woke up like 8. I take off my face mask. I take out my earplugs. I turn off my white noise. I roll over. And TJ is like on his 3rd cup of coffee. He's sitting on top of the bed, like literally looking at me from like his laptop, like just waiting for me to wake up. And I'm like, what do you want, TJ? It is 8 a.m.
I think about you every time I see that like viral video on TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever, where someone like wakes up with the crowing, what is it? Rooster. And then someone else just hits him with a pillow. And it's like, there's a morning person and then there's a not morning person. And I think of you every time.
See, okay. I am a morning person. You are just like an ass crack of dawn person. There's 2 types.
I know.
There's 2
I don't know what it is.
I
have not been able to sleep in past 6 o'clock unless I'm sick or like I'm just going to bed at 3 a.m. I don't think I've slept in past 6 naturally in years. And I have no idea why that is. It just happens.
I pity you. I pity you.
I love it. I love it.
But
all
you
right,
know what?
next.
As long as you love your life. Okay. Oh, I'm curious about this one. This is a hot take because okay, sure. All babies are not cute. What do you think?
I think there are some cute babies. I'm thinking of 2 friends that recently had babies probably in the last 6 months. And they're so cute. And I'm not even like a baby person, to be honest with you. So that's saying something. I think I have actually something that I do. It's a trick. I think that most babies aren't the cutest. And so when I meet somebody and I meet their baby, I'll say, oh my God, your baby's so cute, if it's actually cute. And my friend once looked at me and said, isn't that like what everybody says? Like, you're just going to have to say that. And I was like, no, I know a trick, which is if the baby's not cute, I'll be like, oh my God, you had a baby. And that is my response.
Oh my God, you had a baby. In the future, I swear, if you come up to me, TJ, and I have a kid in that stroller, and you come up to me and you look at it and say, oh my God, you had a baby, I'm going to punch you. It
means that I don't think your baby's that cute, but I'm very happy for you.
Well, thank you. You know what? I actually do agree. I don't think any newborn that comes out of the womb is cute. I'm sorry. I don't have a baby. I know every parent. Look, my parents showed me photos and they're like, weren't you cute? And I'm like, Mom, I look like a potato. Like, what?
Yeah, it's like a wrinkly little alien baby. It's not, we're not cute.
I had a little cone head. I came out with like black hair, cone head. I was like shriveled up in like red. I was like, what is that? But you know, I'm sure parents love their babies. They want a healthy baby. I get that. But no, I think from age 0 to like 3 months, no baby is cute.
I'm telling you, just say, like, if you ever run into that scenario, it works every time. Oh my God, you had a baby. And they're like, yeah, I did. It's great.
Oh my gosh. But if you're listening to this and you think that you have a cute baby that came out of the womb just looking real cute, I like baby pictures. Feel free to DM them to me. And
DM them to Morgan. She can let me know.
TJ might respond to you and just be like, oh my God, you had a baby.
Baby.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, I'm curious about this, TJ. This is going to make or break our friendship. Okay.
Oh, God.
Nickelback is not great.
Look at this photograph. That with them, right? That was
banger.
Nickelback? A banger. Yeah, that was a banger. Yeah, that was a good time in high school. Which one's that?
I'm not even gonna try and sing it.
I don't think I know.
No,
I mean, I'm not a good singer, and I just did it.
I want to be a rock star. That one, Far Away.
I want to be a rock star. That sounds like Smash Mouth. Hey man, you're an all-star.
I was not.
I don't remember any. Back to the topic. Nickelback. They're fine. They're good. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on them. Sorry.
Here's my hot take on Nickelback. I think 9 out of 10 people actually do like them. I think it is trendy to be like, ugh, Nickelback sucks. Like, I just think people hop on the bandwagon. But
is that a generational thing? Because does anyone who's under the age of 20 even know who they are?
You're right. Do the Gen Zers know about Nickelback?
When was the last time you played a Nickelback song on your Spotify? Like, nothing against them. They're a great band, but they're not really relevant anymore.
It's been a hot minute. But they're performing at Stagecoach, and you know what? I am so excited. I'm actually more excited for Nickelback than I am for Morgan Wallen to perform. So, what does that say about me?
This is where I get triggered, because I will never forget the Super Bowl that had Missy Elliott perform. I think it was with Katy Perry. Was that the duo? Or it was Missy Elliott and somebody.
The Dancing Sharks.
Okay, so Missy Elliott performed with someone, and I can't recall who it was, but the trending Twitter, the most trending Twitter statements that were going on the next day were, I don't know who this Missy person is, but like Katy Perry just put them on the map, or the Super Bowl performance just put them on the map. And I was like, oh my God, these people don't even know who Missy Elliott is. And she was an icon.
Yeah, that is a travesty. I'm actually really sad. You know what? These high schoolers, they're not living till they rocked side bangs, heavy eyeliner, scrunched hair, and listened to Nickelback in a Walmart parking lot. You're not living.
Let's circle back on this post Stagecoach and see how many people think that Nickelback is a new band post performance. I would be curious.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious too. Okay. Oh, this is a very, very common one, and I don't understand why people say this, but I'm curious your hot take, TJ. Beyonce's not good.
That's not fair to say. She's very, very talented. She's a great singer.
A lot of people say that she's overrated. Like, she doesn't deserve all this hype around her, like the Renaissance tour and like her sold out stadiums. A lot of people are just like, I don't get why people are so in love with Beyonce. Actually, quite a few people think that.
I think this is too PC of an answer, and I hate PC answers, but I think she is incredibly talented, and she is where she is for a reason. That said, I could not name more than 2 songs of hers by name, and I couldn't even. The only one I can sing to you that I know she did was Halo, and that was probably came out 16 years ago.
Love on Top.
I have no idea what that song is.
So you put a ring on it. If you like it, then you should put it.
Oh, I do know that song. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I know she had an album called Lemonade. Couldn't name a single song from Lemonade.
Oh, it's so good. It's like a girl power anthem. I'm actually a huge Beyonce fan. Now, with that said, I spent $1,500 on a ticket to go see Taylor Swift, which is just atrocious. You were gonna say that. Uh-huh. But you know what? As much as I love Beyonce, I would not spend more than $200 to go see her. So I don't know what that says. I don't think she's overrated. I think she's talented, but I'm not as big of a fan of her as I am some other people.
Right there with you, and I completely agree with the sentiment. I would go see her because I think she is good and she is talented, but I would not pay a fortune to do it. It would not be an experience for me. So I think she's incredible, just not my cup of tea. In fact, I actually find that there's a huge swing between those two ladies, Beyonce and Taylor Swift. It's like you're either a Beyonce fan or you're a Taylor fan. And I don't really know why that is, because as a Taylor fan, I lean more Taylor. I don't have anything against Beyonce. I just don't like her music as much. And I think people say the same thing about Beyonce's, like, I just don't like Taylor's music as much. And I don't understand that.
They're very different, I feel like, genres of pop. Whereas I feel like Taylor's is a little bit more like innocent, girly, naive. And I feel like Beyonce's is like hard-hitting, like female empowerment. Like I don't know where I'm going with that one. But
can we also just talk about the fact that you definitely spent more than $1,500 on Taylor Swift tickets? I'm calling you on the carpet on that one.
No, I didn't.
I
take that back. I spent $1,500 per ticket and I got 2 tickets. So did you go? You went in LA.
But didn't you buy tickets also to Europe?
I did TJ, do not call me out on the internet. Yeah, so I am going to see her in Portugal, but here's what's crazy. Okay, so for me to get 2 tickets in Nashville at like, I think we're like second level, okay, $1,500 a piece. In Europe to go see her in Portugal for the same like seats, $400 a piece. That's wild. That's like that's girl math. Essentially, I got those for free.
Right. Totally. Yep. Girl math for the win. So we're at 24 for those who are not participating in girl math. We're now at $2,400, and if you include her other ticket, that's another 15 on top of that. So sure, $1,500.
And you know what? I have no regrets because in my head, I'm like, I'm just helping Taylor get to billionaire status. And you know what? I feel good. I feel good about that.
Dude, kudos to her. Isn't that incredible? $1 billion. That's insane.
I can't even picture what I would do with like $20 million. I'm like, I don't know. I'd give $1 million to my mom, $1 million to my dad, $1 million to Alex. I'd go on some vacations. And then it's like, what do you do with the rest of that money? What do you do with $1 billion?
You know what? I watched a really incredible, I don't remember the name of it. It's like a docuseries on Netflix, and they have like 30-minute or 20-minute very digestible topics. And one of them was billionaires. And it was just like kind of the understanding around relevancy of money and like how it makes sense. Because a lot of people say like, okay, yeah, you're a billionaire, but why are you paying $50,000 for a one-way ticket from LA to New York for a private jet? That's still so extreme, right? And you think to yourself like, yeah, that is extreme. Like even if I was a billionaire, I probably wouldn't spend that. Like that's absurd. I just get a really nice first class seat on a flight, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is like then they did the relativity scale, and they found that someone worth $1 billion who spends $50,000 on a one-way ticket from LA to New York is the equivalent of someone who makes $100,000 a year buying a $2.50 subway ticket in New York to go uptown. And that puts it in perspective of like, wow.
How much money they have.
How much money $1 billion actually is. It's so much money that is the relativity. So like, yeah, of course, if I had that kind of money and it was impacted me of spending $2, of course I'd book the $50,000, like, whatever. It's crazy.
Wild. You know, I never in my life will I get even close to millionaire status or billionaire status.
Oh,
so like,
come on.
Come on. I'm happy you have so much faith in me, TJ. I don't think I'll get to millionaire status. I'd like to maybe think I'll take $1 million. I'll take $1 million. I don't need multiple. I would take $1 million.
You're doing all right, Morgan. You're doing all right.
Thank you, TJ. Okay. Couple more hot takes. We're getting into some juicy ones, and then I'll let you get on with your day. TJ, do you have any business meetings after this? Are you done for your Friday?
I do. I do. I actually moved. I moved 2 of them.
You know, that is a good friend. That is a priority. I appreciate you. What do you think? What's your hot take on guys should always pay for the bill on a first date?
Okay, so this is going to be a complicated question because I have a very different perspective on this based on who I date because it's both men sitting at a table. So we can get really into it here. But I would say from what you're asking for, like from a heterosexual standpoint, I don't necessarily think I don't think a man should feel obligated to pay for dinner. I think that if the person who initiates the date is the person who should be the one that pushes for it. Now, generally speaking, the man's the one that initiates the date. So sure, that makes sense. That's the same logic I apply when I'm dating, when I go on a date. If I'm asking somebody out to dinner with me, I will absolutely be ready to fit the bill. No problem, regardless of how the date goes.
Okay.
Vice versa. If you're asking me out and I am agreeing and you're picking the place and all that jazz, then I think that you should be prepared to pay the bill. I will, as a courtesy, always offer because I do think that that's an element that should be done. Okay. But generally speaking, the person who initiates is the person who should be prepared to pay.
Okay. I agree. I do agree with that statement. I think that is very smart. And yes, if whoever initiates it, I think a first date, and I'm a little old school, I firmly believe, and this is more for like me dating a guy, I think guys should have to court a girl. I think we have got so far away from the idea of actually dating someone. Like now dating, going on a first date is, hey, come over and watch a movie. Hey, come to a workout class with me. Hey, meet me at a bar with my buddies. No. I think a guy should have to court a girl, and I think that means at least on the first date. Now, after that, I changed my opinion a bit. I think the first date, a guy initiates the date, and I think he pays for it. And even if the girl's like, hey, why don't we go to this restaurant? I really like it. I still think the guy should pick up the bill on the first date. But that is me being a little bit old school. And then I think after that, after your first date, when they show, they make the moves, the sidewalk rule, they open the door, they pull out your chair. Then I think after that, it's totally fair to be like, I've got it, or let's split the bill. But I firmly believe first date, the guy's got to pay.
Okay, but what about the scenario in which like you're like, hey, let's go to Nobu Malibu for our first date, and then the guy's like, okay, and then he's spending an $800 on a dinner for a first date. Like that's just crazy.
Well, I think that is where a guy needs to have a boundary, and that's when he steps in and says, you know what, a first date, I'm not willing to invest that much. You know what? How about we go there later on? Why don't we go to this place I like more? I think that's more on the guy to say no. Like, if you don't want to spend $800, don't agree to go to Nobu.
Would you respond well to that if a guy was courting you and you said, let's go here, and he responds back, hey, like, that's not really what I'm expecting. Here's another alternative. Would that be okay?
I would be fine with that. I'm like when it comes to dating, as long as they suggest something, I'm not nitpicky. As long as they're not like, let's go to McDonald's. Or, you know what I hate for a first date? Do not ask me to go putt-putting. Oh, my God. I agree. I get so uncomfortable at the idea of arcade games, go-karts, or putt-putting. I can't do it.
But you know what? There is something about it. I honestly believe that first dates or experiences are so much better when it is an experience, not just a dinner. Like I really firmly believe that. But I also think that there are certain experiences that probably we should be avoiding, such as putt-putt or bowling or like those other dumb.
Ooh, no.
I'm not really wanting to go bowling with you on our date, but I would love to go on some sort of experience because I think that's where you get to really know someone.
Hiking is cute. Horseback riding. Sure. Let's go do some archery. I don't know. Just don't take me to a putt-putting place.
Still amateur. I think what you do is you plan something that is like a new experience that's pretty crazy for both parties. Like, hey, let's go skydiving, or let's go like do a scuba certification class together, or let's go
get
rent
scuba certified.
let's rent jet skis and go to Catalina Island for the day. Like that's fun.
Okay. Well, that is fun, but TJ, this might be why both of us are still single. Because most guys don't want to do that. Most guys want to go putt-putting.
But you know what? Most guys don't even ask me to go out to dinner. So there you go. Maybe I don't know.
Same.
They just don't do it.
Well, I take that back. Some guys fly to Chicago, but whatever. We're not getting into those details.
Do you want to talk about that or no?
No. I mean, my hot take is I love an Australian accent, and then I'm just going to keep it at that.
Okay.
Ooh, here's TJ, hot take. What is one accent you love and one accent you just are like, icky, gross, worst accent on planet Earth?
You're going to make so many people come after me. That
was my goal.
I love a variety of accents. I think like the English accent is probably top tier for me. I'm very attracted to that. I think the Australian accent is also very attractive. I think it's like a twist, right? Of like the cool British accent, if you will. The rebellious accent. I have a hard time with like Portuguese accents. I have a hard time with Italian accents. Oh, don't come after me. I also have a hard time with German accents because they're really like their language is so aggressive to begin with that I don't know.
Sure. So I will say German, if you can learn German, more power to you. It's such a difficult language because it's so like throaty. It's like a very throaty, harsh language. So it's just not like sexy. Like I don't really want a German whispering sweet nothings into my ear. No. I just like don't. But I want an Australian whispering sweet nothings into my ear. Yeah. Definitely hands down the hottest accent. I would say a tie between Australian and British accent. I'm not a fan of German, or if like we're just like going in the United States. I love the city of Boston. I really, really do. It is a lovely city, but I'm just not the biggest.
It is a great city.
I'm just not the biggest fan of like a Boston accent. You know?
You're not gonna love this, but if we're gonna keep it local, the Southern accent makes me cringe.
Rude.
I knew you were gonna get upset about that, but hear me out. It is like fundamentally so condescending, just by nature.
Your heart.
Oh my God. I just like when someone has a conversation with me in a Southern accent, they could even be saying some of the most respectful things. And it still, to me, sounds like they're just being like the most condescending person in the room. And I can't see past it.
I agree with that. I do think because it's like a slow drawl, it almost comes across as like when someone has a crazy Southern accent that they're like making fun of you. And it's like, no, that's just legitimately how they speak. Like my mom has actually like a pretty good Southern accent. I had a crazy accent till I moved to LA and I tried to work in TV and I started talking and they were like, change that immediately.
Really? They were telling you to do that?
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're like, you have to drop the accent. I was like, oh shit.
They actually gave me some voice coaching when I was dabbling in that world a little bit too, because I needed to, quote, get rid of the gay slang.
Really?
Yeah, that's a real hot take. That's a real hot take.
But
I don't know. But going back to the conversation, I will say the Southern accent, it's not my favorite, but the thing that is my biggest pet peeve is when people internationally, and for anyone who's listening internationally, hear me when I say this. We do not all talk like a California Valley girl. You see that on television and you all think that that's an American accent and it drives me nuts.
Right, nuts. Because how many people have you met from America who actually talk like a Valley girl? I don't think I've ever met someone who's like, I can't even do a Valley girl accent right now, but...
There's someone that you and I actually mutually know that I will not mention, but their voice drives me bananas because they do that. And so there is someone you do know that talks like that. Actually, there's a few, but it's not the standard. And I hate when people say that. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know what my voice sounds like to someone with an accent. Because I'm like, I just think I have a very abrasive voice. I just don't think it's like...
I think you have a great like journalism voice. Like, I know that's what you went to school for, but like
Morgan Willett reporting for KXAN News. Yeah, I
brilliant. I think you would be a brilliant TV like news host. I really do, a journalist.
You know what I'm doing instead? I'm doing a podcast talking about the shit that goes on in my life instead.
Using your voice in another way.
I sure am. Okay, TJ, we're gonna wrap up, but I want you to give me your hot take. One that you have thought of. Sorry, I'm springing this on you so last minute. Should have warned you about this. And we'll finish up with TJ's hot take from TJ himself.
My hot take is that the hot takes of this were not spicy enough.
Well, then give me a spicy hot take.
I wanted something spicier. I wanted something more like I wanted to really hear it today. You know?
Yeah, people are keeping it PG in my question box.
All right, that's fine.
What's your spicy hot take?
Gosh, I just don't know who's gonna listen to this. So maybe I retract that statement. Should I get a little nervous?
No, TJ, we can always cut it out if you really think a coworker's gonna listen to it. But I promise you that they're not.
Okay. Men, sexual, cut or uncut?
Oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable right now. I'm not. I'm legitimately not. I'm not answering that because I don't have an answer because I'm sweating and my heart is racing and I don't know. What's your hot take on that?
I don't discriminate. I'm very okay with all areas, either. But there's a lot of people who are not. There's a lot of people who are very uncomfortable with one or the other, by the way.
I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna. I think I'm just uncomfortable with either. I think penises honestly just stress me out. I'm like, what? They're so creepy to me sometimes, but like also like I do like them. Wow.
Okay, so sidebar, is there anything else that you want to like get real juicy on while we have time?
No. I know that you're like digging. I know you're like, what does Morgan actually want to talk about? No, Tej, I am currently thinking about penises, so that's your fault. Thank you for ending this podcast on that note. For everyone listening, they will be thinking about uncircumcised penises for the rest of their day.
Listen, if you've made it this far, then you deserve that, in my opinion.
Hey, you know, I'll take it.
I don't know why was that the first thing that came to my mind, by the way? Like, how terrible is it that...
TJ, get your mind out of the gutter, okay? You're having a lovely conversation with a near and dear friend, and you're thinking about penises the whole time? Rude.
I know. I'll think of something better for the next round. That was inappropriate.
Deal. I am keeping that in the podcast. I hope you know that. Well, TJ, I love you so much. Thank you for dropping your hot opinions on me. Where can everyone find you on socials for anyone who wants to see the face that goes with this voice?
I'm a terrible social guy. I'll be honest with you. I am like an Instagram only kind of person. So it's me, the Teej. That's where you find me. Yeah. You make it an occasional story, an occasional post, but I'm really bad at it.
Yeah, you are really bad. I'll give you that.
I know.
But that's fine. We'll work on it. Well, Teej, love you so much, and we'll have to have you back on for another TJ's Hot Takes.
Can't wait.
Thanks so much for listening to the Your Internet Best Friend podcast. It's been real. It's been fun. And I will see everyone here next week. In the meantime, do all the podcast things. Like, subscribe, give me a 5-star review if you please. And catch up with me on social media at Morgan Lee Willette. Bye, besties.